From Satisfactory to Factorio, they do something here that you cannot do in Satisfactory, which is go to space. Going to space is not an easy task. I need yellow science, purple science, and space science, which is going to be my next issue. That involves launching a rocket. Now, luckily, I have pretty much everything to launch said rocket. I finally got a launching pad. You need rocket fuel, low-density structures, and blue circuits, which I happen to have made all of those. Everything has finally been full. The rocket is ready to set off. All I need to do is launch. Now, if this were a year ago, and I had played this to completion, I would have beat the game by now. There would have been a different way to make space science. However, in Space Age, the way you make space science is in space. Now, immediately, I was trying to figure out how to build up here because it doesn't give you clear direction or instruction on how to build. And the area out here is massive. There's so much space. Now, to build, I had assumed I needed more space platforms, so I automated that immediately. I couldn't quite figure out how to build yet, but I had assumed it would be fine, so I just started sending up things I would need for a voyage to another planet. But it was finally time, so I decided to hop into the rocket myself, launch into space, and build my very first ship. My assumption is I was having so much trouble building from the ground because I was on the ground, and if I want to build in space, I gotta be in space. But I was still struggling so hard, I just couldn't figure out what was happening. Like, why can't I build? So I left and decided to head back down to Nauvis, but I had a plan this time. I was gonna send up robots. I was gonna need them anyways for other planets, but what I didn't realize is I don't even need bots. The platform does it itself. All you need is to send up more platforms and ghost build it, and it does it for you. So after figuring that conundrum out, I finally figured out how to make space science. You only have to use every resource that space provides, but once you figure it out, it's actually pretty easy to send down. So with space science finally done, I decided to set up the tier 2 modulars for speed and productivity. And it kind of hit me that I'm going to be off planet. I can't be here to fix everything. So I decided to automate trains, train cars, and oil cars too, just in case they break down. The last thing to do is to make sure that the resources I do have are protected, like this copper and iron field. And those two giant hordes should be a good enough test. I think we'll be fine. As a personal goal, I wanted to take over this iron ore patch that I've been looking at since I found it at the beginning of the game. And the only thing between me and that iron ore patch are these 3 ginormous hives. But you know what? I'm done backing down to biters. I'm done with their facade, their angry presence on my space. I'm gonna take that iron ore patch and no one can stop me. I don't care if I'm ruining the planet. I don't care if I take all the resources from this area. My pollution is my problem, not yours. I will end you and your entire species on this one patch of iron. You have taken everything from me, destroying everything, forcing me to build my base with you in mind. And so you will know what it's like to have someone come and stomp on your parade when you're having a mating party. And I'm going to mine all of that iron and you're gonna eat all of that pollution. So, anyways, this is the iron ore patch that I decided to build. I built a good perimeter around it, and I had to get like 9 belts in here. I also want to change my rail system so that it has 4 cars and not 2, but this spaghetti is what I ended up coming up with. And around this time I went on a trip, but I had my Steam Deck, so I decided to buy time by working on nuclear processing. And although I didn't quite need it, I also decided to work on the Covarex, because if I'm gonna work with nuclear, I might as well get it done now, because I probably won't do it later. And if you don't know what the Covarex enrichment process is, all it does is it takes 40 of the good uranium, or the expensive uranium, and 5 of the dull uranium to create 41 good uranium, or 238. And if you repeat this process a bunch of times, creating one more, of course, you're going to get a compounding result. The only downside to Coverx processing is that it creates a byproduct of 235. So you create a ton of 238 and then 3 235. So you need to run that back into the system. I found this build online that utilizes beacons, and then I started making nuclear fuel rods. I was also able to make some uranium ammunition, such as missiles and explosive rockets, as well as atomic bombs, which we'll play with a little later. And since I was already making all of this stuff, I decided to make nuclear fuel as well. Later is now. As you can tell, I have been a little resentful for the bugs, and I decided they deserved to experience that many, many times. When I said I was done with these biters, I wasn't messing around. They did enough. They've caused enough havoc. I'm gonna end them. But back to my main goal, which was leaving space. And I realized that I put all of that space science research on the one vessel I planned to move to another planet. So it's got all the resources I need. So I made a dedicated lab. It is going to only produce white science. It is going to stay on Nauvis and just create science. That's it. So now I needed to worry about creating fuel for my thrusters up here, which was a little bit different than just sending up rocket fuel. And the design I created with beacons actually created enough fuel for 3 thrusters, not just 2. And with all that set, it was time to go to Fulgora. So I put myself on a rocket, head back up to my space platform, and prepare for the journey ahead of me. Now, I assumed I have enough solar panels, I have a lot of accumulators, I'm using laser turrets because why not? All the builds I've seen online use regular turrets, and I don't really understand why. I feel like you have enough power here. Like the solar panels offer 300% bonus in space up here, so I went with laser turrets, and I think that'll be fine. With just a moment of charting our course, we are off, and it is finally so nice to see that the thrusters are working at full capacity and being fed the perfect amount of fuel, exactly as I had planned it. My biggest worry was that I messed up the conversions here and that something would happen while we're on the flight that would prevent it. Wait, what's going on with my power? Oh God. The lasers are working as intended, but they are taking all of the power just to kill these boulders, and they're not even destroying them quick enough. Oh God. And it hasn't been very long, but without power for such a long time, I'm stranded in the middle of space, halfway between here and Fulgora. I'm stranded.